Hi, now we are going to discuss corporate social responsibility under corporate governance. So it will be corporate social responsibility. We will be henceforward referring it to as CSR, the acronym. Corporate social responsibility. As we know, corporate is a body whose main job is to create the wealth for the society. Then if the main purpose is creation of the wealth, then why there should be corporate social responsibility? The corporate should have only economic responsibility. Yes or no? But now we ignored one thing. We told that corporate is a body to create wealth for the society. So the wealth creation has to be for the society. So somehow this social element is so very closely intertwined with the concept of corporate that they cannot be seen as two different compartments. They cannot be compartmentalized. They are one and the same things, and they work in a very closely related manner, and there is symbiotic relation between corporate and society. So let us discuss why first of all these kind of concepts, corporate social responsibility, shall come. Let us discuss what relation corporate and society have with each other. So suppose this is corporate, this is society. Then the exchange between the corporate and society, the exchange is not like corporate is giving something to society only. The exchange is not like society only giving something to the corporate. This exchange is from corporate to society and from society to corporate. And when this balance would be disturbed, there would be issue either for the corporate or for the society or for both. So with this spirit, we will see how corporate needs society, why corporate needs society, why society needs corporate. So what corporate gives to society? Let me discuss this first aspect. What corporate gives to society? Corporate does the main task of wealth creation. As you know, our philosophy says that dharma, arth, kam, moksha. Dharma, arth, kam, moksha are the four purusharthas. This earth means economy, the economical things, is so very important that wealth is must for the survival and evolution of the society. So wealth creation is very important, and this job in the modern time is done by the corporate. And take my words, what human being is seeing now, it is the most prosperous time ever in the human history. This is the most prosperous time. We are living in a world, we have to be very happy. It is the most prosperous time ever in the human history. It is the most peaceful time also in the human history. If you remove COVID and all, there is no major war since 1990s. There is no major killing by enemies or some violent things going across the scale of the globe or a region or a society. They are happening at isolated pockets. So all these things, prosperity, peace, everything, the foundation is the wealth creation. Suppose someone is hungry, he cannot be expected to perform in an ideal way. So he will be committing one or the other wrong. So wealth creation is so very important for the sustenance of the society itself. So corporate does the wealth creation. Corporate gives you employment. Corporate gives you the goods and services needed by the society. Corporate gives you a strength as a society. If your corporate is developed, you as a society, you as a nation, you as a state will be strong. Corporate gives you an identity. What kind of country you are rich, poor, corporatized, industrialized, all these things corporate gives to the society. Corporate gives to the society the required technology. Like many technological innovations, the research and development R&D things in the universities are financed by the corporates. They are giving you the best of the products to solve the human problem. See, for example, the human needed that the room should be cooler, the room should be cold. To make our living comfortable, the corporate gave you air conditioner. You wanted the storage of food, the corporate gave you the fridge. You want everything and corporate giving it. Corporate is either doing research and development in its own premises, or they are financing it in the universities. So corporate is so very important for them. The corporate culture come and the Western world became dominant all over the world. The Western culture, economy, society spread over the world, and they are ruling, and their soft power is so very high. So this is all what corporate does for the society. Now let us briefly discuss what society does for the corporate. What society does for the corporate. Society is also not an idle beneficiary, it is an active partner. So it is not some idle beneficiary, it is very active partner, active agent, active partner, whatever you say. So what society does for corporate? They give them manpower, or better we shall call it human resource. Because the people who will work in the organization all come from some society only. So society supplies you the human resource, then society gives you customer. If the buyers are not there, no one is there to buy your goods and services, whom would you sell? So society becomes your customer. Society gives you license to operate. License to operate. What I mean by saying license to operate? See, society is giving you land by the process of land acquisition. Society, if you are performing according to the expectations of the society, society is having goodwill towards you, and they are giving you the license to operate. They are helping you conduct your day-to-day activities. They are helping you grow. They are their brand ambassador. So corporate is doing giving a license to operate also. Then what society is giving? Society is giving you the resources. Because the coal, iron ore, water, air, soil, sand, all the raw materials, everything, they are not in the ownership of some individual or organization. They are not the ownership of some individual or organization. The society or the nation as a whole owns them. Society or the nation as a whole owns them. See, for example, suppose you are a bat making industry. You are running a bat making industry, bat manufacturing industry. The bat will be using the wood, willow in J&K. This wood belongs to the people residing in the nearby area. They would have used this wood for their own purpose, furniture, as a fuel, or some other commercial purpose. But they gave it to you as a corporate, as an industry, and you are benefiting from them. So they are giving you the resources. Then they are giving you new demands. Because see, YouTube came, people are not happy with YouTube. Then to express the creativity of the people down the line, all these things, TikTok and all came. So it is like society wanted something like TikTok to come, and the corporate is ready with the solution. Suppose this lockdown came, all the office became virtual. So all the office became virtual, corporate, now the people needed that they need to work from home. Now they needed to work from home. So corporate come up with so many solutions like Zoom meeting and so many other technologies. So there is relation between society as well as corporate. So we earlier saw what corporate gives to society. Now we are seeing what society gives to corporate. So do you think that without corporate and society working together the things will be going perfectly? No. See, for example, suppose there is land acquisition by corporate. Why land acquisition has become so very difficult in India? Because since independence 1950s, all the Mahalanobis plan, you know, Nehru Mahalanobis model, we went for the heavy industry. We acquired land, we constructed dam, we constructed power plants, we constructed irrigation projects. For all these we required thermal power plants and all, steel plants, mother industries. So for all these we acquired a lot of land from the tribals and other people, and the compensation to the lands acquired was not proper. The resettlement and rehabilitation is not proper. Even till now they are not given their money. They were promised that they will be given job in the industry which will come up in the land acquired. The industry has come, but job has not been given to those who has lost their land. So this backlog of 60 years of mistrust, has now created a situation in India where you talk about land acquisition and people are ready that they will not give their land. And you might be surprised to know in last decade or so, no big land intensive projects in India has been taken care of. No big land intensive projects have come up in India. We have seen the cases of so many things. POSCO still was denied the land in Odisha. Then Singur, you know, Tata was denied land in West Bengal. So society is not cooperating with corporate because of the mistrust that was created somewhere in the past. So there should be, they have the fiduciary relationship. They are in a fiduciary relationship. What fiduciary relationship means? That the relationship is based on the trust. So the corporate has to take care of the needs of the society, then only society will be going forward for the needs of the corporate. So the relation is very symbiotic. The relation is not that it has to be one-sided. So this is the basic of corporate social responsibility, the basic philosophy why this concept came and all. Now we will be discussing what CSR is, what corporate social responsibility is. So first of all, let us look into some historical background, how this concept has evolved and what are the philosophical, moral background and all. So what happened in India, particularly I am telling, in India, Chanakya, in his book Arthashastra, Kautilya we call also Chanakya or Kautilya, in his book Arthashastra he has told that there are 4 duties of a king: Raksha, Vriddhi, Palan and Yogkshema. First 3 is not very important for us. I will be discussing Yogkshema. Raksha, Vriddhi, Palan, Yogkshema. Yogkshema was a kind of social security responsibility. It was a kind of social security responsibility of the state. For example, in our present constitution also, in Article 41, we have provided for the social security in the DPSP. So this concept has originated in the Yogkshema concept of Arthashastra written by Kautilya or Chanakya. So under this concept, the king was supposed to take care of the social security needs of its people, of its subjects. But over a period of time, we can see the corporate counterpart of this Yogkshema concept in the present day is corporate social responsibility. That in the happiness of the subject lies the happiness of the king was the philosophy of Yogkshema. In the same way, we can say in the happiness of the society or in the happiness of the individual lies the happiness of the corporate. So this is the basic philosophy. Apart from that, Yogkshema concept of Kautilya, there are many other concepts also. Gandhiji, when industrial revolution started in 1750s, since then only there has been debate going on what is the role of corporate, are at all they desired by the society, or is it that some people vested with their economic interest are pushing for the corporate culture at the cost of exploiting other people. Then Gandhiji gave a very important concept of trusteeship model. Gandhiji gave the concept of trusteeship model. what this trusteeship model is, the gist is that the corporate or the business or the industries, they own the resources of the society as a trustee, and they should not take more than what they require, and the rest surplus wealth, the surplus wealth they have generated, they are just the trustees of the wealth, they are not the owner of the wealth, and this wealth as a trustee of the society, they have to distribute with the society. So this was the trusteeship model. So according to Gandhiji, the wealth do not belong to the corporate, the wealth belong to the society itself ultimately. See, in our preamble also, in our constitution say, the source of power is we the people of India. So the ultimate source of power is not the prime minister or the executive or judiciary or the nation as a whole, it is the people. So in the same way, in trusteeship model, the Gandhiji is telling that the ultimate beneficiary has to be the society, the people, not the corporate who is creating wealth. They are just creating wealth on behalf of the society as the trustee of the society. Apart from that, another concept of Gandhiji is so very relevant in this aspect, in this context. Gandhiji has talked about 7 sins, that these sins are very deadly and we should not do those sins. One of the important sins of the 7 sins is commerce without morality. Commerce without morality. So Gandhiji says that commerce without morality is a big sin. So even if we judge by this perspective of Gandhiji, we will be seeing that commerce without morality is a sin and you have to pay for your sins. So if you do not want to commit sin, that is the best way to ensure your survival. So better you do not commit sin, you do not go for commerce without morality. So if we do not go for commerce without morality, then what do we go for? We go for commerce with morality. We go for commerce with morality. And when you go for commerce with morality, you know that all the benefits accrue to the society as a whole, not by the individual corporate or individual companies. So we can say that companies has some responsibility towards the society as well, and then the concept of corporate social responsibility came. So this is all the background. Let me share some more background information in the ethics also. In the ethics, in other chapter somewhere I will explain you all the perspectives in the ethics. But in the ethics subject in our syllabus as per UPSC, there are 3 perspectives which is very relevant for this CSR. One perspective would be justice approach. One perspective would be the rights approach. One perspective would be the virtue approach, and other perspective would be the common good approach. See, other approaches, justice approach and all also, utilitarian approach and all, everything you can put over here, but basically these 3 are so very relevant from the perspective of ethics in corporate. What is rights approach? Corporate social responsibility. Rights approach is that everyone has their some rights with them. Like society has a right on wealth, corporate has the duty to produce the right, because rights and duty come as a bundle concept. If someone has a right, then some other person or entity has to have a duty to fulfill for that right. So society has a right to live good, right to have a comfortable life, right to have the desired goods and services, and it is the responsibility of the corporate to provide for that. Clear? Next, virtue approach. Virtue approach says that what kind of person you want to become. So a corporate should also think what kind of an entity it wants to become. See, for example, I always mention Tata. Even during this COVID time, you have seen how humane approach they have come with. They are saying anyone who has died due to COVID on duty, till 60 years the Tata Group will be giving them salary. This is such a generous and such a humane perspective. So virtue approach is like corporate should also think what kind of entity they want to be in the eyes of the public. See, for example, Sharda scam. Sharda chit fund scam. If another company by the name Sharda or those who were owning the Sharda chit fund entity, would they be ever liked by the people? I think no. So they are not virtuous, so they are not liked by people. They are not following their social responsibility towards the society. Another approach is common good approach. Common good approach is like everyone should feel that they are a part of community. And public good and common good is something which is accessible to everyone, and consumption of the public good by one will not reduce the public good for others to consume. For example, the natural air, for example, the road, for example, the electricity, for example, water pipeline, for example, electric lines and all. These are the common good. So they are for the good of the community as a whole, not for the good of individual or a group of people. So in this sense, the corporate has to do good to corporate as well as society, not only to itself. So these are the basic foundational philosophy behind corporate social responsibility. Now let us talk about corporate social responsibility, what it is, how it can be defined. So there are myriads of ways to define the corporate social responsibility, but the simplest one is the definition of European Commission. Let me write here, European Commission. They define corporate social responsibility as the responsibility of the corporate for the responsibility of the corporate to the society for their impacts on society. Very simple. You just break these words: corporate, social and responsibility. So it is like responsibility of the corporate towards the society for whatever impact it has created to the society, and this is corporate social responsibility. So this is like giving back to the society what you have taken from the society. It is giving back to the society, giving back to the society what you have taken from the society. So it is a give and take approach. It is not give approach, neither it is take approach. So it is give and take approach. With one hand you give, with another hand you take. If one hand is for giving, another hand is also for giving, then one day you will not exist, because everything you have given to someone. If one hand is for taking, another hand is also for taking, then this is impossible, because you will be taking from someone, they will snatch their things and you will be gone. So this is give and take approach. Now let me illustrate this something. I will illustrate it with an example. Suppose the SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL established its plant in Rourkela, Odisha. Then what SAIL did? SAIL took land of the people. Land acquisition happened on a massive scale. Many hundred hectares of the land has been acquired from the people. Then it used the water for running the factory, for giving the water for household use of the employees of the industry. They used the local nearby water. Then they polluted the air. They polluted water also, consumption and pollution both. They polluted air. Then they displaced people. Then they displaced the people. Then they used the resources which was available to the people. The tribals and the local people residing in that area, they have been sitting over the mines of coal and iron ore and other raw materials, limestone and all, but they did not use the resources, and they preserved the resource for centuries. and due to their preservation of resource only, now this corporate is in the process, in the position or in the capacity to use them. So obviously it was owned by the society, but now they are using it. So if it was the corporate benefits, corporate took all these benefits, then what society got? What society got? Society already got reduced water, polluted water, loss of the land, air pollution, noise pollution. The agricultural land was converted into non-agricultural land, industry, housing, markets and everything. They were displaced, no resettlement, rehabilitation in the proper way. Then they lost their traditional resource also. So all this suffering has happened to the society. Now how corporate will be compensating to the society? I told you na, it is like giving back what you have taken from the society. So they have taken this much, and now what they are giving back to the society is employment, is wealth. What else they have given to the society? They have given the society science and technology. They have given the society modern thinking, rational and all, rational, secular. Then they have given society access to the outside world. They have opened their mindset. Then they have given to the society more easy life, because now they have housing, they have entertainment, they have money. So all these things corporate has done. So it was the society of the corporate, and the corporate is doing their duty. So this was all the philosophy of the corporate social responsibility, CSR, that you have to give back to the society what you have taken from the society. So they have taken it the same, they cannot give back, so they are giving back something else. So this is the whole philosophy of corporate social responsibility till now. So now earlier the view was that there is a scholar by the name Friedman. What he has said, that this is very interesting line, you just see it. He has said that the business of business is business. This was the traditional view on corporate social responsibility, that corporate has come for creation of wealth. What we all mind is our business. Apart from business, we do not mind anything. We are not responsible for the development of the society. The government has to take care of it, not the corporate. But then there is complete change in mindset, and now CSR, the social responsibility of corporate, is a must. It is no more a choice. It is a compulsion, and it is must now. Otherwise, neither corporate will grow nor society will grow. So it is must now that corporate show some responsibility towards the society in order to flourish and grow in the society. See, still one thing is very clear that for the business, for the corporate, the first thing has to be business. The first thing has to be business. See, for example, if I am running a company, running an industry, if my company is not making profit, then this is the lose-lose situation for everyone. This is lose-lose situation for everyone. If I am not making profit, what benefit will I do to the society? If I am not making profit, how can I serve the society? Serve the society. So the first thing the business has to do is their business. They have to ensure that they are making profit, and they have to ensure that they survive. And you know, in ethics we study in one of the schools of ethics, the first thing is the self-survival. You can do good to others. What ethics is? Ethics is keeping the concern of others before us. At least thinking about others. At least thinking about the impact of our actions on other people. So if business is not focused, at least to some extent, on the self-survival, then how can it contribute to the society? So the first preference of the business has to be business. But it should not be the only preference. It should be the first preference, but it should not be the only preference for the corporate to garner profit or to survive itself. So only after its survival and making profit, it has to share the same benefit with the society, otherwise it will not survive. So this is the whole philosophy of corporate social responsibility. Now I will say you one thing, do corporate have only social responsibility? What other responsibility do corporate has? So we have divided that corporate mainly has three kinds of responsibilities. Corporate mainly has three kind of responsibilities. One is economic responsibility, one is political, another responsibility is social, and third is the economic responsibility. What is political responsibility of the corporate? That corporate should follow the laws, rules, regulations and guidelines of the country. It should laws, rules, regulations, guidelines, everything the company has to follow. Then it has not to challenge the supremacy of the state. It is the duty of the state, the political executive, to distribute the resources of the society. So corporate has to work within the overall authority of the state. It should not be that corporate wants to rule over the state. A state cannot be, this is not feasible. This is what they have to follow under the political responsibility. See, for example, when CSR with the Companies Act 2013, when mandatory 2% CSR is done in India, one section of people are opposing that you cannot dictate to the corporate that give 2% of your profit in the CSR. But then corporate has to be within the overall regulation, overall sovereignty of the state. So this is political responsibility. Another is social responsibility. Just now we discussed that it has to think that it is a part of the community. It is like community, or you can say society, and corporate is just a part of it. Corporate is not here, it is not outside society, it is not somewhat with society, rest out of the society. No, it is just a part of the society. So corporate has to think like this. Then in the economic responsibility, just we discussed in our previous lectures, in the economic responsibility they have to ensure that they are doing fair competition. Unfair means they do not have to do. They have to ensure that they are not manipulating the price manipulation, cartel formation, all those kind of union baji, those things should not happen. They have also to ensure that, I told you, first thing is self survival. So they have to ensure that profit maximization of shareholders shall happen. I told you, only if the corporate itself doesn't exist, what good can it do to the society? No. Now mind this word, shareholders. Let us discuss something. What is corporate social responsibility? Is it only about the interest of the shareholders, or it is about something else? So we, in our initial introduction lectures and all, we discussed two concepts, that shareholders and stakeholders. So economic responsibility is only about shareholders and all, but the corporate social responsibility, CSR, is about the stakeholders, because society is an important stakeholder for the corporate. We have just discussed what corporate gives to society and what society gives back to the corporate, and how harmoniously in a symbiotic relation they can exist. Otherwise, if this balance is gone, there will be troubles for both the society as well as the corporate. So corporate social responsibility is about the interest of the stakeholders, not the interest of the shareholder alone. Now we will discuss what all are the activities taken by the corporate social responsibility. Different activities taken by the corporate social responsibility. They work for the poverty alleviation programs. They work for the health and disease of the people community. They work in the field of providing education. See, for example, this you might be knowing, Teach for India, TFI. It is a corporate initiative to provide quality education in the government schools in association with the government. Because you know, now nowadays governance is a shared space. As you know, governance is a shared space. So now governance has become government, private sector and civil society organizations, NGO and all. So you can see this private sector is one of the important player in the whole arena of governance, with government being just one of the three pillars. So it is first pillar, second pillar, third pillar. The first pillar is government, the second pillar is private sector and the third pillar is civil society organizations. So governance is no more an exclusive arena for the government. They cannot say that only we will govern, and this is visible everywhere. You know about the school management committees, hospital management committees. In a school management committees, what happens? The people, local people whose son and daughter, whose kids will be going to the school, they will be making decision together with the government employee, the teachers and all in the school. The same way happens in the hospital. Then you can understand the concept of Mohalla clinic also. In Mohalla clinic, I am just giving you example. It is not related with corporate social responsibility, but I am just telling you that you have to serve the people. You have to go close to the people. You have to go close to the society. Not that society will come close to you. So nowadays, all these things are very much intertwined, and society and the people's interest should be at the center. So what else is done under corporate social responsibility? They can give you marketing access. For example, we know about ITC e-Choupal. ITC e-Choupal. ITC is the company Indian Tobacco Corporation. Its initiative e-Choupal is for the market linking and all. They help the villagers sell their product and all, give them market linkage, and this is one of the very big initiative in the rural India in the form of information technology by any corporate. So they provide for marketing, they provide for the skill development. Under a Skill India mission and all other mission, the corporate is also sharing the space with the government to give the skill to the people. They also give the vocational skills. They also give the employment generating skills. Apart from that, they are giving water. They are providing sanitation facility. Because you know there are many village adoption program by different companies, village adoption program. What do they do? That in the village adoption, a corporate will be taking one whole village and it will be developing the village holistically. Education, health, employment, a skill, digital education and everything they will be taking care of. So this is all the models. Then they are also taking care of the disease like AIDS and all. They are doing everything. Then again they are doing very revolutionary and very fundamentally transforming job in the form of social enterprises. Social enterprises. Under this, the weaker section of the society are being helped by the corporate to come with their enterprise, like self-help groups. They are helping the self-help groups. They are giving the, see for example, national social caste, national scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, means like FICCI na, Federation of Indian Chamber and Commerce of Industry. Like this, there is some SC ST wing also to give the financial need to the beneficiary. Then there are other associations trusts which are helping the entrepreneurs in their entrepreneurship by way of giving them money, loan, marketing facility, training, and all these supply chain related things, right from bottom to top, all the hand holding support they are giving to them to grow as an entrepreneur. And apart from this, all these things like awareness schemes also they are running, like about the rights of women, rights of children, and all they are doing. So all these things are done under the corporate social responsibility. They are also talking about gender equality. So these are the basic areas where the corporate social responsibility is being done. Now the remaining part of the corporate social responsibility we will discuss in another video. Thank you.